So today I will be sharing how to make ube pandesal with cheese, my version. For the ingredients, we need 1 packet of yeast, 2/3 cup of warm water, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1 cup of plain flour. To begin, combine the sugar and warm water, give it a mix, and then add the yeast. The yeast is 2 and 1/4 teaspoon or 7 to 8 grams. Mix and then let it sit for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we can add the yeast mixture into the plain flour. Mix again. Once combined, cover this with cling wrap and then let it sit in a warm spot for about 45 minutes or until it doubles in size. This is 3 cups of plain flour, but we might need extra later. 2.5 tablespoon of ube halaya or ube jam if you have that. 1 egg. This is optional. This is violet food coloring. 1 tablespoon of ube flavoring. Half a teaspoon of salt. 2/3 cup of milk. 1/4 cup of melted butter. That's half a cup of sugar, and this is the yeast that we let rest for 45 minutes. It has doubled in size. So we're ready to make the dough now. I'm using my stand mixer here, but you can use your hands to knead the dough. So in a bowl, combine the milk, that's fresh milk, the melted butter, the ube halaya. I'll put the link in the description box how to make this. 1 egg, the half a cup of sugar. Give it a mix. Add the 1 tablespoon of ube flavoring. Stop, and now we're going to add the yeast mixture. Add the plain flour. I'm adding 2 cups first. Then mix this at low speed because the flour will fly everywhere, just like this. Add the salt. Once the flour is fully mixed, we can add the rest of the flour. At this point, if you want to add gel food coloring or food coloring, you can do so. I only added about 1 drop. Now that the flour is all in, it's time to check the consistency. Here I can see that my dough is very sticky, so I'm adding a tablespoon of flour each time. Each time I add, I check the consistency. All in all, I added extra 3 tablespoons of flour. So at this point, I know that my dough is not sticky anymore, so I'm gonna continue mixing this for about 8 to 10 minutes. After 8 to 10 minutes, this is what the dough looks like. It's very elastic and smooth. I have a bowl here with a little bit of vegetable oil. So I'm spreading the oil all over the bowl, and I'm going to roll my dough into the oil as well. I'm going to cover this with cling wrap and let this sit in a warm spot for about an hour. After an hour, the dough has doubled in size. We're ready to shape the pandesal. So I'm cutting the dough in half. I'm going to form the dough into a log. And then just cut the dough. I want the dough to have equal sizes, so I'm measuring each dough about 50 grams each. You don't have to do that. You can eyeball this. At this point, I'm going to fix the dough. Now I'm going to add the cheese. So flatten the dough slightly and put the cheese in the center. So I cut the cheese into squares. And then seal the cheese and then roll the bottom of the dough into a flat, clean surface. So shape the dough. Make sure that the dough is sealed so when the cheese melts, it will not ooze out. Don't be cheap with the cheese. Cut a generous portion because it will disappear if you don't have enough cheese in the pandesal. So now we're going to roll these into breadcrumbs. So this is what they look like. We're going to cover this with a kitchen towel and let it sit for about 30 to 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, this is what it looks like. We're going to bake this in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 12 to 15 minutes. And this is the finished product. I have some more baking in the oven, but I don't want this to cool down completely before I show you. At this point, my pandesal is now warm, starting to cool down. So this is what it looks like when you open up the pandesal. This is really good, and I can guarantee you that this pandesal can stay soft for a number of days. So I hope you give this a try. The sweetness, the softness is perfect. I can guarantee that you're not gonna be disappointed making this. This is what it looks like when the pandesal just came out of the oven. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.